My sister was really trying to be an only child. Hi friends, it is Johnny back with another video, and today we are doing another story time. This time we are telling the story of the time that I almost died on the side of a mountain in Dominican Republic. Fun times. So a few months ago, I went on a cruise with my sister, my cousin, and a few friends. And from the very beginning of that cruise, it seemed cursed. To start off, my cousin decided to fly in for the cruise the day before the cruise. And of course, his flight got canceled. And then the flight that replaced it got delayed like 9 times. So when he was supposed to be coming in at like 2 in the afternoon, he didn't get there until like 1:30 in the morning. Then the day that we set sail, you need to be vaccinated to go on the cruise. Luckily for me, I was vaccinated well before then. Unluckily for me though, is the fact that I never really paid attention to my vaccine card. So I'm proudly showing my card. I'm like, I'm going on this cruise. Little did I know that my vaccine card had the wrong date of birth. Everything was correct except for the year. For whatever reason, they put 1962 as the year I was born. Because I definitely look that old. Hello. And you know, living in Florida, you don't really need to be showing off your vaccine card because Florida doesn't care about our health. So I never really paid attention to the card until that moment. And I'm showing it and they're like, oh, hold on a minute. And I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on. Like, so what happened? The lady walks away, comes back. She's like, so, your date of birth is wrong. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, I think I know my date of birth. I look at the card. I'm like, that's not my date of birth. So I try to talk to them. I'm like, listen, you see everything else is correct, right? My month, my day, my name is there. Everything's in order. It's just that whoever wrote it must have been dyslexic or something. And so they sent me to the Island of Misfit Toys over there in the little outskirts, waiting in like an area of people that might not be going on this cruise. My cousin, being the one that's going to be rooming with me on the cruise, gets sent there along with me for whatever reason. And so I'm freaking out, trying to figure out what the hell to do.
I'm in danger!
So I call my father, I look for the email. He has the email because he scheduled our appointments. Luckily for me, he kept the email, he didn't get rid of it, because without it, I would not have been able to go on the cruise. So luckily I had the appointment email that showed, hey, this is the day that I got the second dose. Like, he couldn't even find the first one, he only found the second one. So it matched up with the one that's on my card, and they were able to be like, okay, this is definitely you. You just need to get this fixed when you go home. I'm like, okay, I will, thanks. I'm okay to go on this cruise, right? And they're like, you're fine. So me and my cousin go running, because by this point, departure time was like half an hour from then. So we get on, we're all good to go. My sister was already on the boat with everyone else. Like, she did not care. That's not the last time she doesn't care in this cruise, but whatever, we're getting there. Fast forward a few days. Everything's going well, everything's going good, we're all having a nice time. We get to our excursion. We have a dual excursion. We have this natural water slide / waterfall like thing that you hike there, and then you go into the waterfalls and you like jump in and you slide down the water, the natural stone water slides and all this kind of stuff through the river and go back down the mountain. And then we go to get to visit monkeys. Now, you see what happened was, right? What happened was, I'm a New Yorker, so I'm used to walking. I was not used to this kind of walking, though. There's a few issues with the situation. Let's start with the fact that I didn't eat in the morning, so I didn't have energy. The only thing I had to drink was this tiny bottle of water that they gave us on the hike. The altitude, the heat, my weight also plays a factor, obviously, because I'm a chunky boy. And apparently I have asthma. Who knew? So all of that together makes into a wonderful concoction of near death. In the beginning of the hike, I'm all excited, I'm good to go, I'm raring, I'm like, ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ride some water slides, I'm gonna go down rivers and all this, it's gonna be nice. Then after that, I'm gonna go get to play with monkeys. It's gonna be great. Today's the day. I start off strong, I'm in the head of the pack, I'm like, I got this. I know how to hike. I've been doing this before. I know what I'm doing. I'm good to go. For the first like 15-20 minutes, I'm in the lead. I'm one of the people in the front. But something hits me. Like I can't breathe anymore. So I have to slow down and people pass me. And I start having more issues breathing and more people pass me. By this point, I'm like midway to the back. My sister and a few friends are like up ahead now. My cousin's the only one that stood with me. And he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No." I'm dying. So I'm there huffing and puffing. I'm slowly turning red. And he's like, "You're not looking too good." I'm like, "I'm not feeling too good right now." So and then I slow down even more and I'm at the back with like the last like stragglers. Me and a few people are like the last ones straggling along. By that point, it's already like past midway of the hike. It's too far to quit, you know what I mean? I'm already past the halfway point. I'm not quitting. We get to a point where they let you sit down and take a break for like 2 or 3 minutes. We meet up with my sister and our friends, and I'm beat red. I'm huffing and puffing to that spot to sit down for a few. My cousin's like, "He's not doing too good," to my sister. And she's like, "Okay." And continues walking. I'm like, "Bitch! You lucky I'm not in my right mindset right now. You lucky that I am near death. You are lucky that the Grim Reaper's like coming from behind me, just like grabbing my face and shit, covering up my mouth and my nose so I can't breathe or talk." You lucky. So she goes ahead. We stay back for a few more minutes to take a breath and we continue walking along the hike with everybody else. I'm still in the back. He's staying with me the whole time. And it's getting tougher and tougher because we're going up the mountain. So it's getting steeper and steeper and higher the altitude and all that. And, you know, I'm just not doing well at all. I've already drank all my water, but that ain't helped none. By this point, I am looking real bad. Like, real bad. Like my cousin said, I was beet red. Like, I was this color red, okay? And if you see me, I ain't that color. So it gets to the point that I can't really go on anymore. Like, I'm panicking because I'm like, I'm not doing well. Like, all my energy's completely drained. Like, I don't have it in me to continue going. But I know I have to. And I know I sure as hell ain't going all the way over here just to try to roll back down the mountain because Lord knows I can't walk back down. Because I'm already like 4/5 of the way through this hike at this point. There's no way in hell I'm walking back down this mountain. No, I am sliding down this mountain in the water. I am not walking. And I sure as hell ain't rolling down this mountain because I just can't walk no more. I'm like, just like roll. So I'm finishing this hike no matter what. But my body doesn't know that yet. My body's like, we gonna shut down. We get to a point where, because for the majority of the hike as you're going up, there's a handrail. There's like a guard blocking you from falling into like the forest. And of course there's a point where it stops. There's nothing there. Like if you fall, you fall. There's nothing blocking you from falling in anymore. And of course that's where my body's like, now's a great time to shut down. So I'm like, okay. And I see everything going tunnel vision. Everything's like, darkness is creeping up around me. I can't see anything. Like it's a pinhole, and like I'm a blackout. I'm a throw up. I don't know what's going to happen. This is new for me. So like, let me not panic. Let me hunker down. So I like go into like a fetal position, standing up. So like I'm still on my feet, but I crouch down. I grab my knees. So I'm like, if I fall, I'm basically just crumpling in on myself. I don't want to like fall into the forest, never to be seen again. You know what I mean? I'm not trying that. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna crumple, I'm gonna hold my knees, and I'm just gonna start breathing. I'm like catching my breath. I'm composing myself. I'm gathering myself. I'm good to go. I'm not 100%. I'm not even 20%, honestly. But I'm like, I've gotten this far. And they're like, we're almost at the top. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not stopping. I composed myself enough to get to the top, but you know, my cousin's there with me the whole time, like making sure I'm okay. He's like, "You're not doing too good. Are you sure you're okay?" Meanwhile, my sister's up there just,
I'm so happy because I'm a gummy bear,
and I'm down here like, unfazed that her brother's near death. He told her multiple times, because we met up with him a few times, and each time he's like, "He's not doing good. Listen, this is bad." And she's like, "Okay, bye." And she like just,
I'm so happy because I'm a gummy bear,
and again, you can literally see me just, so she chose just to ignore it hardcore. But finally, after I composed myself, after I almost died, after I almost fell into the forest, we get to the top. Again, we sit down for a few minutes before we continue, and that's when my sister's like, "Is he okay?" And my sister's like, "No."
He's already dead.
And I'm just there on the bench like sound like Darth Vader and shit. And she's like, "Cool." And she gets up and starts walking again. And my cousin's like, "Do you think she's not hearing us?" In my mind, I'm like, "No, she hears us." But all I can really muster is, "She heard." Sound like freaking Charlie Mingus. Like, "Ah, yes, Vic McQueen." But we made it to the top, and so all that's left is to walk straight and then walk down a bit to get to the waterfalls. So by this point, I'm a bit more composed, I can walk a bit better, and again, it's just a flat surface, so I don't really have that much of a problem. And going down is even better. So I'm keeping up with the group at this point, and so my sister's still on her shit, because we get to a point where we're going down some stairs, we're getting closer to the waterfalls, like you hear the river moving, and you feel the coolness. So I'm like, "Oh, this is better." However, we have to go down some slippery stairs. So like, hold on tight. We're holding on tight. Our friend, her soon-to-be boyfriend, is walking down in front of her. He slips and falls. Her ass was holding on to him because we're all holding on one at a time. And her ass is holding on to him and goes, the second he goes to fall. Like, she truly long lives the king him.
Long live the king.
So she just wasn't caring about anyone that day. She was like, "I'm here for me." We finally make it, and the first thing they want you to do when you make it is like, "Oh yeah, by the way, to get into the water, you have two options. You either take the like 10 to 15 foot jump into the water, or you do the chicken walk and go down the stairs into the river." I ain't a chicken. Honey, I've jumped off of a 50-foot cliff into water, okay? I ain't afraid of a 10 or 15-foot jump, even if I'm dying. And I know my body, I'm like, I need this cool water and I need it now. It is my money, use it when you need it. So everyone's going and I'm like taking it in, catching my breath and everything, composing myself, watching everyone jump in, and then I jump in. And like everyone else is like, like, you know, looking down like, do I want to do this? I get to my point and I'm just like, I'm jumping. Like, I get to the edge and I just jump in. And instantly I pop out of that water. I am 100%. I'm good to go. And my cousin's like, how? How are you okay? And I'm like, well, because I know I'm a manatee. And I know that I need cool water to live. And it either needs to be in me or I need to be in it. Am I Waterverse? I might be Waterverse. Either way, I'm a freaking manatee, okay? I need the cool water. So the second I got in there, I was fine. I was good to go. I was helping people when we were going through areas. Our friend Kimmy, though, decided that she wanted violence because she just kept hurting me that day. Going through the river, there are a few slippery rocks and stuff, so I'm helping her and my sister and a few of them, like, up the rock. And so the first time I'm helping her up the rock, I had gotten, before the surgery, I had gotten the biopsy. And so it was fresh during the cruise. So I just had like a bandage, but I had like a gaping hole under the bandage. And so I go to give her my hand, and she ignores the hand entirely and grabs the wrist, digging her thumb right into the hole. So I'm like screaming bloody murder, like, get in the hole! And I'm like, you do not realize. She's like, oh my god, what happened? I'm like, you're fingering my hole! As dirty as it sounds, it is what happened. She thumbed into my hole, into my biopsy. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be a little more careful. I'm like, and told her to, I'm like, just be a little more careful when I'm helping you. So not a problem. So what happens again later on, I go, there's another like even steeper slippery rock that I help them up. And I give her my hand again. And instead of like, using me as leverage to like climb up, no. She decides to pull me, and my leg bashes into the rock. So I had a huge bruise on my knee for like weeks. Thanks, Kimmy. I love you. She really done fucked me up that cruise. But it was worth it. The water was so nice. It felt so good. Jumping into the water was great. The waterfalls and the slides were great. And then when we get to the bottom, we had a nice, cool hike along the river and through the river back to where we started. So that was also really nice. And then after we dried up a bit, we got back on the bus. We went to the next excursion, which was monkeys. And oh my god, they were so soft. They were climbing all over us. They were just like hanging out around us, sitting in my lap. I'll post some of the pictures here. Monkeys. But yeah, that's the story of the time that I almost died on the side of a mountain in Dominican Republic. And my sister did not care. She'll be like, it's your fault. I'm like, but I looked after you. I looked after everybody. Okay, I'm like, do you have this? Do you have that? Are you okay? Are we good to go? Like, I made sure we all had what we needed. She didn't care. She was like, that was on you. I'm like, yes, it was my fault. But you still could have shown a little concern. You know what I mean? I'm your sibling. I'm your only sibling. But whatever. I'm just saying. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story because I really enjoyed telling it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and bing bong the ding dong down below to be alerted to whenever I make a new video. And until next time, bye! And do us both a favor. Never climb a mountain with your sibling. They might leave you to die. I'm just gonna leave that there. Do with that what you will.